And now we're going to do a round of sport, starting with Malcolm.
Steve Newing says his Enfield Town side must continue to progress, and the Towners boss is targeting a mid-table finish in the Ryman Premier Division next season. Newing's men ended the last campaign in 16th place and narrowly avoided relegation. It was a case of job done for Newing, who had stressed survival was imperative in their first season back in the Premier Division. Now the Enfield boss is looking forward. New players are being sought to strengthen the squad, which will largely be made up of those at the club last season. The aim for next season is the same as it was last year: continue to progress. Newing said last season was all about staying in the division, and in doing that meant it was a season of development for the club. Obviously, the next season, the first target is to stay in the league again, but we want to move forward and progress again. I would like to aim for a mid-table position. If we can do that, then you never know what can happen. You could go on a good run and then you have the chance of making it into the playoffs. But I think the league will be harder next season than it was last season. There are good teams that have been promoted, and there will also be 4 more matches over the course of next season, as well as the league expanding. Bringing in players is never easy for managers. Newing thought he had agreed a contract with Manny Osei last month, but the forward then elected to join Premier Division rivals Metropolitan Police. It's been a little bit difficult, Newing admits. We have had a couple of players agree to join us, only to then change their mind at the last minute. People will talk to you about joining the club, and we get a few trialists from European countries that are worth taking a look at because they could be something unexpected and make a difference. We're hoping to bring in 3 or 4 players to add to what we've already got at the club. We're planning on keeping the majority of the squad that we had last season, although 2 or 3 will naturally move away.
Sick of a parrot if they do. Saracens appear to have a genuine chance of reaching the knockout stages of the Heineken Cup for a 3rd successive year, following the draw for the pool stages of next season's competition. Sarries, who climbed up into the 2nd tier of seeds, followed their run through to the semi-finals earlier this year, have been drawn in pool alongside 4-time winners Toulouse, Irish outfit Connacht and Italian minnow Zebre. Despite their fine European record, Toulouse have failed to match their earlier exploits in recent years, while Connacht have yet to make a significant impact in the competition, and Zebre lost every single competitive match they played last season. But wing David Strettle, who scored a try for England in their win over Argentina on Saturday, is expecting Sarries to face a tough challenge. The Heineken Cup is of massive importance to us, he said. I know that as players it's something that we look forward to immensely. We've been making strides in the competition, and hopefully, if you look at the trend over the past few years, we could be in a final come May 2014, but we're under no illusions that the draw has handed us some tough away trips. Toulouse are Heineken Cup royalty. They've won it 4 times, and they've been beaten finalists twice, so there's certainly no question of their European pedigree, in my opinion. Going to the Galway sports ground is always a tough ask. Connacht will ask us plenty of questions, and they've been accumulating more and more experience at this level in recent years, so we'll have to be on our guard when we come up against them. Strettle added, we look forward to tackling these challenges head on, and it is one that I'm particularly looking forward to. There is a sense of unfinished business regarding our European performances.
Enfield Ignatians will kick off their London to North East campaign with their home match against league newcomers Rochford 100 on September the 14th. Ignatians will be the only team in the division based in the Greater London area when the season begins, after Woodford's promotion to London 1 North and the relegation of Old Streetonians. 3 of the 4 newcomers to the league all have prior experience in London 2 North East. Basildon, promoted 2 seasons ago, make a quick return to this level and join Norwich, South Woodham Ferriers and Rochford as the new sides in the division. After the tough opener against Rochford, Ignatians are away to Braintree on September the 21st and a week later faced Norwich at Donkey Lane. Other clubs in the league next season are Ipswich, Chelmsford, Lowestoft and Yarmouth, Stowmarket, Holt and Saffron Walden.
A strong opening partnership from Winchmore Hill batsmen Scott Newman and Tom Ludlam helped their side record a 21-run victory against Stanmore in Middlesex Cricket League Division 1. Hill won the toss and decided to bat first. It was the right choice as Newman, 60 runs, and Ludlam, 81 runs, I don't know if I understand that actually, no, put on 91 runs for the first wicket. The partnership was eventually broken when Newman was caught by bowler Jack Whittaker. Jim Gatting, in at number 3, added 16 before Nicholas Goh ended his innings. The middle order added decent support, with Ryan Corns and Delaray Terblanche scoring well. The tail failed to wag, and Winchmore's innings ended with a total of 234 all out. Stanmore bowler Mukesh Bhatt ended with 4 for 51. Goh returned figures for 3 for 23, and there was a wicket each for Sam Helm and Whittaker. The Stanmore reply started badly, and they looked in trouble after 3 early wickets left the score at 20 for 3. The recovery was led by the impressive Jimmy Chiafoulis, who struck 17 fours as he constructed an excellent total of 128 off just 126 balls faced. He lacked support though, as Stanmore batsmen failed to settle at the crease. Bat, in at number 11, held on to score 19 not out, but when Chiafoulis was bowled by Tom Koppelman, the innings was ended and Stanmore was short of their target.
A church will host a special choral service to honour the memory of its most famous choirmaster as part of a nationwide celebration of music. The choir of All Saints Church in Church Street, Edmonton, will perform compositions by Tottenham-born Edwin Crusher, who worked at the church for almost 40 years. The choral evensong is part of the Royal Society of Church Music's Music Sunday, which celebrates ecclesiastical music and musicians on Sunday, June the 23rd. Mr. Crusher wrote and published his music while he was the church's organist and choirmaster between 1890 and 1929. He lived in Church Street for more than 40 years until shortly before he died in 1954, and the concert will be the first time the public will have heard his music in more than 80 years. Mark Harris, the current choirmaster, said Mr. Crusher was a big part of the community here and introduced scouting to Edmonton by setting up the first troop. Since his death, the choir has grown a lot smaller, but that's happening everywhere. We would love to see lots of people in the congregation on the day. A memorial to the composer was put up in All Saints Church in 1969. The service starts at 6 p.m. and that's on Sunday, June the 23rd.
A newly married couple are appealing for help to trace precious footage of their special day, which went missing during the reception. Robert and Louisa Levi from South Woodford in Essex were celebrating their nuptials at the Royal Chase Hotel in the Ridgeway, Enfield, on Saturday evening, when the cameraman Anthony Clark realised his wallet and a memory card were missing from his bag. The memory card contained footage of Louisa, 36, getting ready and being blessed by her family at their home in Willow Road, Enfield, and the wedding ceremony at St Barnabas Greek Orthodox Church in Finsbury Road, Wood Green. The couple, whose reception included a surprise performance by Britain's Got Talent finalist Stavros Flatley, are heading off today on their honeymoon to the Maldives and are devastated that the footage has gone missing. Louisa, who works as a GP at the Freezywater Primary Care Centre, said, "As Greeks, we do a special ceremony at my parents' house, and my dad has siblings across the world, so we wanted to share the day with them. I have my memories, but it was a part Rob wouldn't have seen. And also my dad's sister is 90 years old and is housebound, so couldn't make it to the ceremony, and we wanted to be able to share that with her." The dark brown leather wallet also had sentimental value to Mr. Clark. as it was a gift from his dying mother and held mementos including passport photographs and a broken car key chain saying the limo. But the couple are optimistic that the missing items will be found. Robert, 37, a freelance TV producer, added, "Someone must have it. The material is priceless. If someone took the wallet, they wouldn't have made anything because there wasn't much money in there and all the cards have been cancelled. We're not interested in pursuing someone. We just want the memory card and the wallet back. If someone finds or has them, we just want them to be handed into the newspaper or to the hotel." Geoffrey Breeze, the hotel's managing director, said his staff had poured through 6.5 hours of CCTV footage and clear bin bags and hadn't been able to locate the missing memory card and wallet. Police confirmed that missing items had been reported to them.
An outdoor gym has been unveiled in New Southgate as part of the council-led drive to regenerate the area. Sporting facilities and a playground for young children have also been installed at High Road Open Space in High Road, which is central to Enfield Borough Council's Take the High Road project to improve green spaces in the town. The new equipment was fitted ahead of a free community day organised by the council on Saturday. Councillor Del Goddard, Enfield Council's cabinet member for business and regeneration, said, "Our plan from the start was to deliver real improvements that help to design out crime and antisocial behaviour and turn New Southgate into a thriving, pleasant and vibrant area for everyone. We know there is still work to be done, but we are well on our way to achieving our aim." And Rebecca Kirsty was one of the first to test the new outdoor gym equipment.
X Factor finalist Melanie Masson was among dozens of people who turned out in the sunshine for a community garden party. The singer and her family enjoyed the bustling atmosphere at the Middleton Road Community Garden in Bowes Park on Saturday. Morris dancers and a live band provided the entertainment, with cake and bookstalls dotted around the popular garden. Scottish singer Melanie, who lives in the area, said, "It is such a community-orientated place and very family-friendly. It's brilliant to have lots of events like this. There are not many places in London where you know your neighbours, but it is different here. Everyone is very friendly and welcoming, and these events get great community support. It's important these green spaces are open to people and are used. We're very lucky in this area." The annual party is an initiative run by the Bowes Park Community Garden Group, a volunteer committee that promotes the use of the area's parks and open spaces. Group Secretary Sarah Harris said, "We enjoy the fact local people come to have a nice day out and enjoy the garden. It's good for the community to get out and meet each other and make the most of a green space. We're fortunate that we always seem to get sunshine, and this year is no different. It has gone really well."
Squatters occupying residential properties have been evicted by police on 5 different occasions since it became a criminal offence last year, the Advertiser can reveal. Figures obtained from the Metropolitan Police show that Enfield Police intervened on 2 occasions in Southgate and also dealt with squatters illegally occupying residential homes in Enfield Lock, Ponders End and Edmonton between September the 1st, 2012 and May the 19th this year. 2 weeks ago, Justice Secretary Chris Grayling revealed that since the Legal Aid Sentencing and Punishment of Offenders Act came into force in September last year, 38 defendants had been prosecuted for squatting offences nationwide. Under the new legislation, the squatting of residential properties became a criminal offence, and police have been given powers to act immediately on complaints from residents. Taylor Wilson, Chief Inspector of Compliance and Support at Enfield Police, said, "If we get a call from a resident who has been on holiday and come back to find their house squatted, under the new legislation, we now have the powers to go in and arrest squatters, whereas previously the owners of the property would have to get a court order, which could take a long time. In regards to other properties, such as council buildings, we will work with Enfield Council and other agencies to obtain relevant court papers and assist during evictions in order to prevent a breach of the peace. In neighbouring Barnet and Haringey, police dealt with 6 offences in each borough. Barking and Dagenham topped the list in London with 11 offences. Chris Bond, Enfield's Cabinet Member for Environment, said that local authorities still lacked the powers to tackle the squatting of council buildings effectively, and added that more needed to be done to bring empty homes back into use. He told the Advertiser, sometimes it can take absolutely forever to get a group of squatters out of a building. What is important is that residents feel the council is able to deal quickly and effectively with squatters. On the other hand, it obviously goes on because there's a great housing need and some people have nowhere to go to. The government should tackle that as well. There are a great number of empty buildings and councils need to be given additional powers to bring these back into use quickly as we're facing a huge housing shortage in the borough.
A funeral home has suspended 2 members of staff and launched an investigation after human error led to the wrong body being buried in a grave. Cooperative Funeral Care in Hertford Road, Enfield Highway has apologised to the families of the deceased after a corpse that was due to be cremated later that day was wrongly interred at Edmonton Cemetery in Church Street. The body that should have been placed in the grave was left behind in the funeral parlour. A spokesman for the Cooperative Funeral Care told the Advertiser, "Regrettably, we can confirm that as a result of human error, the wrong deceased was buried at a cemetery in Enfield. We've apologised to those concerned and provided them with full details of the incident. We have strict policies and procedures which should be adhered to at all times, and we take any lapse very seriously. We've launched an investigation into the matter, and disciplinary action will be taken if it is deemed necessary. 2 members of staff have been suspended." The Advertiser reported in April that the Lancaster Road branch of the same company, Cooperative Funeral Care, had left a bereaved family shocked and angry after they had engraved the wrong name on a grave marker. The Ministry of Justice has confirmed that a licence has been granted to the funeral parlour to exhume the body from Edmonton Cemetery.
Whenever the conversation turned towards politics, my mum had a stock answer to my adolescent socialist rantings. They're all the same. If it wasn't for the dear old suffragettes, I wouldn't even bother to vote. Mum usually ended up voting Liberal, which rather spoils the effect of this story, but anyone of her generation would have understood why she brought the dear old suffragettes into the argument. It was 100 years ago last week, on June the 4th, 1913, that Emily Wilding Davison was trampled to death at the Epsom Derby while attempting to stage a one-woman demonstration for the right to vote. Emily Davison was a supporter of the Women's Social and Political Union nicknamed the Suffragettes. She had already done time in jail for militant acts of protest. The horse that ran her down belonged to King George V. It wasn't only individual heroism that won votes for women. The increasing militancy of women trade unionists, for example, in the strike at the Ely cartridge factory in Edmonton in 1906, the support of the newly formed Labour Party, the effects of World War I in bringing millions of women into industrial jobs. These factors persuaded Lloyd George's coalition to pass the 1917 Representation of the People Act, which, for the first time, accepted the principle of female suffrage. Emily Davison was not planning to commit suicide. She travelled to Epsom on a return ticket. She wasn't the first person in British history to die fighting for the right to vote, and certainly not the last, if you count the people in what was then the British Empire. But the frail figure captured on jerky newsreel footage of the woman who threw herself under the king's horse, symbolises the courage for all of those who fought for our democratic rights.
And whose article was that? Does it say at the top?
The article was written by Howard Medwell.
Oh, right, interesting. I'm just going to say about one of the concerts that they have at the St Mary Magdalene Church, Winmore Hill, Enfield. They've got another one coming up on Wednesday the 10th of July, Sandra Sinclair, and she'll be playing the viola. I believe we've talked about these before. They go between 12:30 to 1 p.m, and there's a retiring collection and a ploughman's lunch for £3 if you require in the choir vestry afterwards. So plenty of notice there.
Police have arrested 2 men on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm after a pub landlord was attacked over the weekend. Officers were called to reports of a fight at the Salisbury Arms pub in Hoppers Road, Winchmore Hill on Sunday evening. They found the 38-year-old landlord with cuts to both eyebrows and a suspected broken jaw. A 57-year-old man and a 28-year-old man were arrested at the scene on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm. The 2 men have been released on police bail until July the 2nd, when they're due to return to a North London police station.
This is about the email befriending service. The Thomas Pocklington Trust runs a free email befriending service for people with sight loss. This service is available to people with sight loss who are 18 years old and above. Service users and volunteers will be paired up and exchange frequent emails. If you're interested in exchanging regular emails with a trained e-befriender, then get in touch with the Trust on befriending@pocklington-trust.org.uk or phone 020 8996 1930. That's befriending at pocklington-trust.org.uk or 020 8996 1930. You'll need to complete a simple form to ensure that you're being paired with someone suitable, but we can do this over the phone, through email, or post this out to you if you would like that.
Captivated schoolchildren clapped along as opera singers performed Donizetti's Don Pasquale in a school hall. Pupils from Hadley Wood and Walker Primary Schools visited Grange Park Primary School in World's End Lane, Winchmore Hill on Monday to watch a performance by Pavilion Opera Education Trust. 9-year-old Ayla Yusuf from Grange Park Primary School said, "It was amazing and really fun to watch. We'd been studying the opera in class. We were doing storyboards and we did lots of acting. It was really good to see it performed live." The aim of the performance was to encourage young people to understand and appreciate classical music. Deputy Mayor of Enfield, Ingrid Cranfield, was also overwhelmed by the performance. She said, "I'm an opera lover anyway, but I was really taken with this. It was a wonderful production with top-class singers, and the engagement with the children was really great. They were totally captivated. Hopefully, we'll have 2 or 3 classes of opera lovers now." Afterwards, the children met the cast and musicians to discuss the characters and the story, as well as collect autographs.
And some more information about various services. Vocalise Summer Newsletter, 24 pages available in large print and on CD, providing information on audio-described theatres, exhibitions, galleries and heritage sites. If you'd like a copy, ring 0207 375 1043 or email inquiries at vocalise, spelt vocaleyes.co.uk. And also, There's a hotel, the Clifton Hotel, Vision Hotel. They hold a number of theme weekends. They're doing an Agatha Christie festival in September, a food and drink week, and an autumn ramble weekend in Devon in October. If you're interested in any of these or want to know a little bit more, ring 01626 770 052 for further details.
A new free school will open in Upper Edmonton after receiving backing from the Secretary of State for Education. London Community Learning Trust plans to open the primary school in the Meridian Water site in September 2014. The directors say it will be a school for people living in the area, serving families of all faiths and none. The Trust will hold a public consultation in the next few months about the new free school, including what it should be called and its admission policy. Reverend Nigel Asbridge, a vicar in the area who is also director of the Trust, said, "This area needs another good school and it will play a vital role in educating the hundreds of children expected to live in the 1.3 billion Meridian Water development for years to come."
This is a RNIB Technology Support Squad notice. The RNIB Technology Support Squad is a team of hundreds of volunteers throughout the UK ready to help by phone or with a home visit. We're on hand to help install and use new technology such as Freeview, satellite or cable equipment, DVD players and switching on audio description, tuning digital radios, using telephones, computers or laptops, and sorting out problems with hardware such as monitors and printers. To find out more or to get support from the RNIB Technology Support Squad, call the helpline on 0303 123 9999. 0303 123 9999.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Audrey, Angela, Malcolm, Audrey in the background, Francis and Dave on the controls, it's bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet. Put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require, and the Enfield Talking newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.